Okay, so this is assignment 6. I'm going to go to import data set from Excel, browse. My data set is right here. Open, import, and there we go. Okay, so library, I'm pulling from my library this Plotly package. This is my data set, so I'm attaching my data set to it. I'm pushing this information into start, and this is describing how I want the date to be formatted when it shows up in the plot. So it's going to be month, day, and year. And again, this is just formatting that. This is my client, who I've just named that title, which is going to appear at the top of the plot. And so now we're going into the colors. All this information is being pushed into COLS. This is defining what colors are going to be used. I guess the length of that variable that we're pulling from, saying that it's unique, that we want different colors for this variable, which is spelled wrong. So this is saying who is responsible for each action, and each one of those people will be different colors. And that's just name set to. So we're pushing this information into color, so this factor of information, the people will have the labels of the colors, this information that we have from up here with the color brewer. So again, just identifying the colors that will be assigned to those different people. So now we're going to start with the plotly, and so we're just going to initialize an empty plot. So we're going to go to this foreign gantt data. We're going to add a trace, which is kind of like a thick line plot, and Plotly handles the x-axis and ticks and dates and everything. So we go in and just kind of define what we want. So our x-axis is going to be start times and the duration of these things, these tasks, and the y-axis is going to be the number of tasks that we have. So it's just going to be a line. This is just, colors and widths of our graph. We have our legend. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and run this real quick just so I can have it to reference. So color, width of things, this show legend equals false means we're not going to have a legend. We're going to have this hover info for the text. So the information that's going to be in that hover box is the name of the task, who's responsible for that task, the start date, the duration of that date, what phase it is in, what the deliverable is, the descriptor of it, and the status if it's complete. Yes, and if it is complete, what the start date was and how long it actually took for it to be completed. If not, then no. So if we see over here, the task, Finn, this was finished, who's responsible for it, myself and Danielle, when will it start, or I guess past tense started, that should have taken us 1 day and phased through the project, and that was when we would discuss report clients next steps, and that no has not been completed. So if we go back over here, this evaluate equals T, it's needed so we can avoid lazy loading, which basically we're just avoiding initializing an object until it has to be done. So now we're getting into the layout of the chart just to make it look nicer, how we want it to look. So again, the x-axis, we're not going to have the grid that kind of gets in the way. How we want our tick marks, the font to be. We have the color specified for that. Same for the y-axis. We don't want the grids, and we're just wanting the list of the tasks, not marks, and then the color specified for that, which looks like white for these. It's just going to be an array of information. The values are 1 coming from that my data set, and they're going to be unique depending on what number is coming from my variable of number in the data set. So now we're getting into the annotations. And so the axis options, like I said, we remove the grid lines and we can customize the tasks so they're numbers instead of words. And as we get into annotations, it's looking at the total duration of these tasks and what resources were used. And the X and Y values for this aren't actual X and Y axis values, but it's like a domain of 0, 1. So that's what these values stand for, about where these things are going to go, or this one, where these things are going to go. So this annotations list is showing going to be at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, yeah, this is going to be at the bottom of the screen, right here in the left or bottom right corner. So it's going to show the tasks completed, or yeah, completed out of how many. So we can see that there are 12 out of 15 tasks that were completed. There's one currently underway, and then yeah, 2 or 3 out of 15. Anyway, that's kind of debatable at this point. But anyway, so anyway, that's just what all this data shows, is what has been done, what's left to be done. Again, specifying the color, the size of the font, where it's going to be positioned, and where on the graph. This list at the bottom is the title. So we're going to have it, these numbers specify where, being anchored left, where it's the I guess wording that's being pasted is Gantt chart. This client is coming from, whatever that client thing was up here, which it just was that title. So that's being pulled from there. This is the color that it's going to be, the size, font, positioning, and this is the plot background color and the paper color. And yep, I think that's it for this one.